Welcome back, everybody, to the Back Nine coverage of Round 2 of the 2019 Mid-America Open, presented by Discraft, the world leader in disc sports. I'm Brian Earhart, joined here again by Nate Perkins, and we have been so enjoying watching this course be played by these great athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. It's really a pleasure. Harmony Bends is living up to the hype.
Oh, for sure, and watching these players with all slightly different play styles attack this course has been really entertaining to watch. We have Emerson Keith, Gavin Rathbun, Nikko Locastro, and Alex Russell. Emerson has been putting on a putting clinic.
Yes, he has. And it's so awesome that these players have a platform to play on and that we're able to even watch this. I mean, this is a relatively small A tier in the middle, just Midwestern United States, Columbia, Missouri, and we're getting to watch it.
And we get to watch hole number 10 get played, which is one of the most scenic par fives that I've seen, Midwest, let alone the rest of the country. Players get to either go huge aggressive off to the left. We saw Nikko try a huge turnover left gap yesterday. A lot of players are going to play for the birdie 4 and push straight. I love the layout of this hole. I love the options to get aggressive. I love the options to play safe. And I love the rewards for both strategies. Gavin going pretty quick. Oh, no. That was a pretty stubborn branch that he hit. And he got a pretty nasty cut roll as well. What does he have in his hand here, that orange disc? I don't know if we've seen it this round.
That is going to be a defender.
Okay.
And you see that? There's that forehand form, looking down at his footwork. Just kind of like a mental reset thing. It's
some sort of routine
every time.
Yep.
But notice this. Notice the difference in Nikko's forehand. Watch when Nikko throws his forehand, it's out in front of him. You see that?
Very
out in front of him.
And it's due to the fact that Nikko does not throw a lot of understable plastic when it comes to sidearm.
So when he's releasing on the Anheuser, holding onto the disc a little longer.
And he has to get it in front of him to get it to actually fly nose down. Alex, though, I'm assuming is going to go some sort of hyzer flip.
Little hop. And where he hits it is just so much lower. You know, he's hitting it on hyzer. It's a little earlier in his pool.
Exactly. It's really interesting, especially for sidearm, to watch all the different ways players attack this.
Here we go. Gavin with no run-up. Wow, dude. No run-up at all, and he pumped that one.
Yeah, and it looks like he might be in a decent position. There is a left fairway on the second shot.
Nikko also with horrible line. Look at the level of commitment.
He was trying to roll that for sure. That was that Wraith that he threw on, I think it was 15 yesterday, threw one of the biggest rollers I've ever seen. He was trying to go patent pending flat to turn roller.
Yeah, pretty gnarly to even attempt that shot with that type of lie.
That's just straight up experience.
And that's going to be a Saint Pro that he's rolling.
So close to getting it to pop over and keep riding the fairway. I do love the roller if you are on that left side. Alex is just going to pretty much go same shot off the tee.
He got that forehand way up there. I didn't realize how far up the fairway he got off the tee.
The fact that he clubbed down to something a little bit glidier that's what you have to do off elevation, and that was a fantastic sidearm. And his second one turned a little bit too much, but he still has a look at birdie.
And this is a beautiful throw. Just a little hot, maybe. He's going to be circle 2.
Can't quite see where the disc is going here. I think he did try. Was that forehand roller that he tried throwing?
It looked like that, but it kind of turned into a little cut roller. I'm not quite sure.
Kind of got away from him on that one. Emerson from a patent pending stance.
Man,
that is a fantastic approach shot. 15 feet from the basket.
Rock 3 on a little soft hyzer. Yeah, just a tiny bit high, and he drops down to 40 feet.
Pretty routine putter shot from Nikko.
Excuse me, that looks like a little bit further than 40 right there.
Yeah, kind of deceiving from the camera angle, but
Yeah.
this hole, clearly, even if you have a tee shot in the middle of the fairway, a birdie 4 is not an automatic gimme on this one.
You know, it's not often that you say that might have gone in, but that might have gone in if it didn't touch that branch right there.
Yeah, seriously. There's a solid, confident putt from Nikko from about 20.
Man, you can just sense the frustration coming out of that.
Mm-hmm.
He is just so fiery. I mean, he made the putt. He made the putt, and he's still about to punch his disc.
Yeah, he's one of those players that plays with such momentum. Like, once he gets rolling and he starts playing, fiery, it's scary to watch. It's amazing. And then, sometimes you have a couple missed putts and
it eats at you.
Yeah, kind of lets things get away from him. Hole number 11, we watched the players yesterday really kind of struggle on this one. We have a couple different options off the tee. We saw Jacob Sanders throw a fantastic sidearm up the left gap yesterday, so we will probably see that from at least one of the players in this card, but really it's dead straight.
Yeah, dead straight. You got the river on your right the whole way. There is an OB line on the cliff's edge by the river, and it's just low ceiling the whole way too. So you got to hit gaps only a few feet off the ground, and you've got OB right behind the pin too.
Right behind the pin. Really treacherous here.
Emerson is going defender.
And I believe is that a 13-speed kind of stable to overstable driver?
That's 12. It's a 12 speed.
Okay.
But yeah, it's domey pop top defenders that he likes to throw. Definitely overstable. Very similar to an Innova Destroyer. Probably a little bit more stable than a Zeus.
Yeah, and Gavin, unfortunately, I think he was trying to throw Destroyer on that one, and unfortunately let it go a little bit early. Snakes through a couple of the initial trees, and really that was the ticket to landing zoneville. He's going to definitely have a look at birdie from there.
Beautiful shot. We might see a flex forehand from his lie. And Alex just leaning on these bosses.
This is his more stable one that he can flex a little bit. And when I said at least one of the players was going to take that left gap, I meant Alex Russell.
Yeah. And Alex is really bringing the boss back to life. I mean, there's not a lot of players. I know Kevin was throwing it last year, but there's just not a lot of players throwing the boss these days. And
a lot of players are getting away from those huge rim drivers in general, just because of the fact that because the rim is so big, it's hard to keep them consistent in their flight and really in the molding process. But I'm assuming Alex has some old bosses from a while back that he trusts pretty well.
Look at that.
A little slip job on the throw, but he still popped it out there pretty good ways.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he didn't have his body behind that one at all, and it still just left his hand with some fire.
So Alex has opted to make this hole pretty easy, going boss flat to fade flick, and then a boss flat to fade flick, and he's about 25, 30 from the basket.
Yeah, and that's really what's been carrying him through this entire season. What was his big win, Brian? The Majestic.
He won the Majestic last year, which is...
Okay, last year, okay.
Yeah, that is no joke. Nikko with a great flex sidearm as well. Wow. Did he just catch something at the end of his flight?
Yeah, he did. That was a ton of control there.
Yeah,
from
it looked
Kevin.
really, really nice. I thought it was really kind of running the pin. Nice soft putter from Emerson.
So Gavin going with the straddle. I'm assuming he's going to jump this one in. Oh, and he does.
Awesome par save. Always feels good, especially after going, way left off the tee. Saving that par shows a lot of poise from Gavin.
Oh, that one looked a little funky.
Little bit funky. I mean, it looked like even just an inch higher and he would have been straight in the basket.
This is that same tricky distance for his straddle putt.
Little low left, but still snags the birdie. He's smiling. He knows exactly what he did. He's thrilled. It's It's nice to see a little smile on his face. One of the more intense players that we have seen on tour probably ever.
Yeah, he's so intense. And, you know, he's gotten a lot of flack for it over the years, but really, I respect the passion that he brings.
And I
to
love
the game.
having characters like that in our sport. We need them to kind of build dialogue too, so it's nice to have him around, especially on this lead card. Hole number 12, really almost the same shot you want to throw on the last hole off the tee, but now we have a par 3 version of it.
Yeah, another low ceiling shot. This one, 364, pretty much dead straight. We saw yesterday that not only do you have to get it off the ground, you have to get it just over this berm right here, or you're going to be left with the 50, 60 footer. So to park this one, you've really got to test that ceiling high. And I mean, the straight shot is just, this is what disc golf's all about, is throwing this distance straight.
And one of the more unique straight throwers is Nikko, who's going with an extremely overstable disc, which is the Gold Line Spirit. And to throw a flex shot through that tight of a window is insane.
Yeah, with that.
And he did it again. If you watched, he opened his hips up slightly early to create that smooth flying disc. That disc did not come out with a lot of velocity. Beautiful flex shot from Nikko.
He's been doing that for a decade plus.
He's made a career
now.
out of it, pretty much.
And this is an Explorer. Emerson is going to be a little just more flat out of the gate. It's got a little drift to it.
A lot more textbook of a play.
Yeah. But looks like he hit that berm and he's going to have that 50-footer.
Yeah, and with those slower drivers that they're throwing, they do have to make sure they watch the height. Got away from him a little bit. I think he still is out in the open for an approach shot. Seems like Alex has like 7 different discs that he's flicking, all slightly different variations of wear. Because I feel like I've seen this one. You know what this is? This is a Star Max, I believe, and it's super flippy, and he's had it for a long time.
You nailed it, dude. That is his max.
I kind of wish that he peered the gap so I could show people, you know, or so we could show people exactly how strange that Max is flying.
Oh, Alex is really, like you said before, he's sticking to his game plan.
Yeah.
And this is really the biggest tip that you can take as an up-and-coming player is to do what you are most comfortable with in the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here we go from 50 feet. Watch the wrist curl. A little follow-through.
Another confident run from Emerson.
Yeah.
He's feeling pretty good.
Get it in there, Nikko. Get it in there.
We're rooting for you. Great putt from Nikko. And as you were talking about Alex Russell, we did see Gavin throw an absolutely enormous spike hyzer from where he was at.
Is that what that was? It wasn't upside down?
No, I don't know if it was a grenade or not. It looked like he threw a machete. I know he has thrown that disc in the past. And yeah, he's parked from where he was at. That was enormous. And forgive us, Gavin, for even talking over that. That was a huge shot. Nice par saves from Alex and Gavin, respectively. Hole number 13, again, we kind of geeked out over this hole yesterday. It's really beautiful, scenic fairway. And, Nate, we have this really defining tree.
Yeah, really. Just a great tree. Beautiful tree. We love you, tree. And we saw Nikko throw right past that tree and actually knock it up and down yesterday, but it was a huge shot. The tricky thing about this hole is the OB left the entire way. So you want to throw a high anhyzer that's moving left to right that finishes right toward that tree. But if you don't give it enough juice, if you don't get enough ante on it, you're going to hyzer out left. And then you've got a really low ceiling, tricky approach to the green with OB right behind it.
Exactly.
So Nikko is definitely looking to match yesterday's shot.
Oh, it was, and really he's throwing a max distance anhyzer here.
Looks like it was a little more turned over than yesterday. Oh, and actually looks like there's OB on the right side as well.
The entire right side of the fairway. And he might have a look at the basket, but that is a pinched off angle from where he's at. I think Emerson's potentially playing a little bit more conservative of a shot.
Yeah, I think he's reaching for the Explorer there.
As long as he can get it straight in the middle of the fairway, he then has an option to either go above or below that tree. Gets over on it a little bit too much. And as much as it looks like it's okay, that angle to the basket is a little bit pinched off. So we'll see if they have to get creative or not from where they're at.
I'm calling birdie from one of the two right there on that low right position.
There's Gavin going roller.
And this is definitely a dangerous play.
Dangerous play, but if you have the confidence to execute, it's definitely there. And I think he did correct and got a little bit more left than the other two ahead of him.
It looks like that grass is pretty thick and slowing
Definitely
that roller
thick.
up.
And I think there is a little bit of sand in the fairway, too, from being so close to that creek.
Just all day, really. All day from Alex.
He's not worried about what anybody else is doing.
No.
And I love that. Because now he's far enough back to where he can make a decision now.
So he's taking this pig.
Whoa.
Look at this route right here, Brian. High. Just to even think about hitting that gap high. I mean, that was not an accident.
My jaws dropped a couple times this round.
Yeah, that was pretty sick to even attempt that.
He circled too, but even the confidence to do that is pretty impressive.
And you know, he threw right where he wanted to off the tee, so I'm guessing that's exactly what he was intending.
Yeah.
And you can see, as you said, Emerson and Nikko are both pinched. Nikko can still save me on my...
Another circle 2 look from Nikko.
It's possible.
You did say one of them has to birdie.
Right.
Then Gavin again going a little bit too far right, but he might be able to snake through with a
wow.
perfect sidearm.
Wow. Gavin.
He better be getting on his knees and praying. That was
Man, that was a sweet shot, though. That
Hitting
gap
that
was
gap
like
is
3 or
gorgeous.
4 feet.
a little bit sawed off. Yeah, I think it looked like he flicked a rock or something like that.
Yeah.
That was a sweet gap hit from Gavin.
This is a tester for par. Sticks it. And that's a straight death putt, too. And
being
can
a
see,
spin putter like him.
Yeah, if he misses, it definitely has potential to go OB.
It's
And
either,
and you can see he hit that one with a lot of speed, too.
And I think at that level, when you're that good of a putter, you have to just say, I'm putting this in, and that's it. And, you know, regardless of how much pace you put on it, if it goes in, it's not a death putt. Alex tapping in the par. Nikko, not sure what he's looking at over there.
Missouri Gator.
Some sort of Missouri Gator or Copperhead. Or maybe just a stick. Anyway, moving into hole number 14. For the sidearm players in this card, I actually, contrary to what I thought yesterday, players were taking the up-the-gut flex line with a sidearm just to make sure that they're not having to play a flare. There's a couple different ways to play this hole, though.
Yeah, and again, we're going to have... Wait, does this one have the OB right behind the pin, Brian?
I believe it does. I believe there is. I think the fairways are split from 13 to 14.
There's that up the middle shot that you called.
Didn't quite get the flex on it that he wanted.
It's going to be a stable destroyer from Nikko. And again, he's going to be trying to throw this with some strong anhyzer. Oh, yeah. It's just a common theme here on this course with the low ceiling lines that you have to hit over and over.
And these, branches that look like they're flimsy, and they're not. They're slamming all sorts of discs down. And Nikko's, what I thought looked perfect off the tee, got shut down pretty quickly.
This is going to be Emerson Stiletto. Might be leaking a little right.
And I'm really not sure if that's out of bounds or not. I know we saw Nikko go out of bounds yesterday, but I'm not sure if it was that exact spot. But still, a pretty solid forehand nonetheless.
Yeah, very good looking forehand. Super flat, no wobble at all.
And then even though Alex had been playing the flex sidearm pretty much all round, he goes with the only straight hyzer sidearm and parks it.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. Again, not following the game plan of anybody else on this card.
Yeah, and there's the orange flag, so there's definitely some OB pretty close. see if Emerson can keep this round up. Dude, this putting is sick.
Yeah. Yeah, his late range circle one putting has been outrageous, and he just looks so confident knocking those putts in, and it's definitely making the round a little bit easier for him when you can cash in putts like that.
And Gavin might be the only one I know putting with the Warlock, and Emerson might be the only one I know putting with a Keystone.
And I believe, and that is not a beer, folks. That is a Frisbee, and I believe it is a glidey beadless putter. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's
from
right.
Latitude. Yeah, and with him having such a solid spin putt, a glidier putter is probably a decent option for him. Hole number 15, par 4. We watched one of the best rollers I've ever seen on camera. But that is not a standard play. Nikko yesterday threw a very aggressive roller, but we see a lot of up-the-gut air shots. We see a couple of sky hyzers on the right side just to position themselves to get up this hill and to the left to this very guarded green. Really beautiful par 4 that's been designed here.
Yeah, I love this par 4, and I really hope we can see another roller today. Maybe a couple rollers. But look at this. Look at the way that this hole finishes. If you don't get yourself in position on that right side of the stairs, there's really no chance for birdie.
Exactly. If you're not playing a really aggressive shot to get up the hill, it's really important that you place it where you want to put it.
Here's that forehand, staring down the gap, down at his feet, and just laces that defender.
That was so smooth, and hopefully he doesn't get caught up in the base of that tree. That would be a real shame after that shot.
This is just prime stuff here from GK Pro right now. If you guys want to learn how to watch how to throw a forehand, you've found the right video.
Yeah, seriously. We have all sorts of different sidearm players. We have touch sidearms. We have flex sidearms. We have, it's been really enjoyable to watch. And Alex gets out of the gap and is also stuck in kind of the base of that hill. I'm not sure if they're going to have another sidearm to the basket or not. That's got to get up.
Yeah, and you can see the major difference in Gavin's sidearm and the rest of the card is how far his arm is away from his body when he's coming through.
He really gets his elbow off his side, and you can tell that if the space was more open for him, he'd be able to really smash one. And he does it again, and that needs to keep going. Yesterday, that roller was absolutely smashed up the hill. Looks like Gavin gets up to close to the base.
Nikko trying something over the top. What?
Wait.
Is that where his shot just landed?
Was that the same? Okay. That was...
Guess he found a gap up there, and he's at 45 feet from being completely out of position.
So impressive. And unfortunately, Alex kicks a little bit too far to the left. And Emerson, this is a beautiful camera angle here.
Yeah, it is. That's an Explorer. That's peered. Oh,
that's going to sit down. I think it did.
Just small differences. In the woods, it can be the smallest difference between hitting one of those soldier trees, as you say, and missing it and being underneath the bucket.
Yeah. No, tiniest bit of an inch can totally mess up a shot.
So he actually did. He peered the shot, hits the tree, rolls all the way back down the hill, and has to go overhand. And he's in danger of carding his first bogey of the tournament, Brian.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he's
feeling it.
He's nearly done, and he's 14 holes through round 2 and has not bogeyed, which is insane here.
Absolutely insane.
Oh.
And he misses the birdie leg. And he nearly fainted, which is definitely a cause for concern, but hopefully he's okay. Alex carding the par.
This is really great to spin that one back. I'm super happy that you guys did that, GK Pro, because I just love watching that putt. Just straight down and straight back up.
Yeah, everything about Alex's game is simple and pretty textbook, and I love the way he plays, especially how he putts.
Oh,
Solid comeback from Emerson.
and the bogey-free streak continues. I mean, there were no legs involved with that at all. He totally
All wrist.
curled that with his wrist and uncurled it straight at the pole.
And that's the beauty of being a spin putter. That's one of the benefits of just having a straight wrist-oriented in-to-out putt is when you're in a tough position, you don't have to have this big swinging pendulum motion. You know, similar to Nikko's, pitch/push putt. You can really get yourself out of some tough situations if you have a good spin putt. Hole number 16, Nate, have you figured out what the shot is here? It's a beautiful fairway and it's very technical, but it's a really challenging tee shot.
Yeah, it really is. It has the appearance of being a dead straight hole, but it's really not. It's got just enough of a drift from left to right. Or excuse me, from...
And you know what? I have misspoken. We are one hole too early.
So you're talking about 17?
This is 17. We are now on 16, which is actually a lot more straightforward of a hole than 17. We will get back to that conversation later. This is a par 3, gives the players a little bit of hope before the tricky 17 that we were speaking about. Emerson does saw off the forehand a little bit, and as you can see, the basket's right at the top of the hill here. Sorry to confuse all the listeners.
Alex, again, he opted for the pure hyzer rather than the flex.
And I think that was smooth. That was that Star Max in Alex's bag. And I'm not sure what this green one is that Gavin's throwing. It might be a Machete.
That's a Firebird.
It's a Firebird.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and a stable one, too. I mean,
Nasty
it left
cake.
his hand on hyzer, but it stayed on hyzer. Nikko actually clubbing up for this one. Stable destroyer. He's going to start it on the right side.
That was a solid follow through from Nikko. That was perfect.
Back-to-back days, he's in the bullseye.
Simple up and down with the justice from Emerson. And Gavin from about 30 feet for a par.
Solid putt.
Smooth putt. Great birdie from Alex.
Yeah, when they go in, it just looks so easy.
Yeah, they have a little bit of nose down to him, and when he's really feeling it, they just kind of drop. Really, really pleasing to watch. Emerson cards the par.
Yeah, the more I watch these rounds and commentate on them, the more I question my own game and wonder why I try so hard at the putting green.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. And back to the conversation we were having. Hole number 17, super challenging tee shot. It's uphill right away. It looks like you want to throw some sort of flex shot, but the fairway straightens out really quick, so you can't get a disc to actually fade left to right that far.
Right, the break is so late in the flight too. It's difficult to get it to go up that hill, fly straight, and then break.
Yeah, I like Nikko's play here, and you'll be seeing it in just a bit. Alex is going to go forehand again, trusting his best shot, probably something pretty flippy. Okay.
There might not be anyone that is relying on the forehand as much as him at his level.
I know, and I I thought I didn't know how the hole was supposed to be played, but now Alex just puts it to right around Circle 2's edge.
Yeah, just flip a boss up there. Late flip
no problem.
Flip a boss.
13-speed driver. Nikko I think he was trying to go for that cut roller again and just unfortunately let go of it a little bit too early. Emerson's flicking a Explorer, I believe.
Yeah, so he actually he likes what he saw. He liked what he saw with Alex's shot and threw a pretty good shot himself. He's gonna have a look, and here we're gonna get another look at it. Flips it up. Maybe just didn't quite get the penetration that he needed.
Yeah, a little bit sawed off. He didn't quite get it to go right to left. Oh yeah, that's got to keep going forward. I think that was a mid-range from Gavin. That was great.
When he gets a hold of him,
I've been playing with Gavin for a little while, and when he gets a hold of a disc, he's right up there with all the top distance throwers.
Really?
Oh, he
Wow.
absolutely annihilates the disc.
You don't lie.
In Illinois, there are a lot of Gavin Rathbun stories on certain holes.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I remember the day that Nikko found out that Gavin could throw further than him. We were at the memorial tossing some shots down by the fountain, and he was pretty bummed.
Probably not happy about that.
Yeah. So Emerson is actually going to take this anchor, and he's going to try and start this one out right and drift it the whole way down there. And he does it. He's inside circle 1.
And that's the range that he's been raining putts from all day.
That's such a technical shot, and he makes it look easy.
Super easy.
To drift the flippy mid from right to left like that.
Not easy.
I know you love throwing that
It's
shot.
one of my favorite shots.
Yeah.
And I think if you do have it, the skill ceiling on that is very high. You can get the disc to land really soft. Decent look there. Emerson from his money range.
And this is another great view. We're right up on the player.
And yet again, the keystone goes in the basket. This kid is on fire, folks.
I'm just so stoked to watch this. Emerson is on fire. He is leaving this card behind.
He is 14 down through 17 holes here, and 14 down for 2 rounds, but still, I mean, even with the hot round being a 6 in round 1, he is 8 down right now.
And I believe the course record here at the Harmony Bends Gold layout is an 8 down. So he's
tied.
He has a chance to beat the course record.
Great birdie from
Wow.
Alex after nasty sidearm.
Sorry,
I wonder
this
what
is so
emotion he's
funny.
feeling.
All right, and we saw yesterday, hole 18 was crazy yesterday, Brian, during that round 1.
This hole is outrageous. Bananas, you could say.
There's just so much OB that you have to clear early OB right here that we're flying over right now next to the short pad.
You have to hit this beautiful landing zone peninsula. And then you have 2 or 3 different fairways that are all carved out beautifully to get down this fairway.
And most of the flight on this second shot is directly over this giant OB creek right here.
And don't worry, it snakes back to the right yet again on your third shot to the basket to try to snag that birdie 4. This is a phenomenal finishing hole.
My guess is we're seeing another boss forehand from Alex. Bring it back to life. Give this man the signature boss.
And congratulations to Alex for getting the bump to team champion earlier this year. So
sweet.
We could potentially see one.
Well deserved.
Thank goodness he does get a kick straight down. I believe he is in bounds.
I am really rooting for this kid to get the birdie and the solo course record.
Is that a keystone that he just threw?
You know, it looks like a mid-range. I'm guessing that it's a gatekeeper.
What a beautiful tee shot that was. Hit it on hyzer on the left side, let it pop up to flat, and not turn over. It just slowly pushed nose down and drifted to the right. Perfect landing from Emerson. Whatever disc that is that Gavin's been flicking, he is hammering on that thing. And today, for some reason, it's been coming out a little bit too left for him.
Yeah, that's a boss, actually.
Probably a stable boss.
Yeah. And just as I said that Alex is the only one throwing a boss, we've got 2 boss
We have
throwers,
to-
and he's been throwing it a lot too.
Forgive us, Gavin, for neglecting you there.
Nikko again, just a tiny bit early. And that looks a little left, but short of the OB.
Yep. Should have some sort of look.
So here is where things get tricky because you have to start making decisions when you're out of position. It looks like Nikko has decided to lay that one up short directly into the
sewer.
manhole. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully he's not too pinched up against that.
Did Alex go a B? I couldn't see his lie right there. He must have fallen right in that little creek,
Yeah, I
huh?
couldn't quite tell there.
So after coming up a little short, Nikko has another decision to make.
That is a ballsy move there. Oh, my gosh.
It's just over the OB. What a sick shot.
Wow. That was, especially to finish the round, to throw that confident of a flex sidearm, which is not his strongest shot.
Yeah, I mean, you're risking 2
Super
strokes
impressive.
to gain 1 stroke.
And gain he did. Hits the tree, sticks. Emerson does have a look at the basket. It's going to be a tough one, but still, he avoided the OB for a second time.
Yeah, pretty fortunate for the reaction off that tree. We saw it yesterday. Anytime anyone hit a tree, it's just directing straight back into that creek.
Gavin with a safer play on the right side. He might still have some sort of corridor to the basket. I know John Houck likes to give players lots of scramble opportunities from the rough. And that was smashed, and the crowd loves it.
I need to work on my forehand.
Yeah. After watching this round, I think the both of us need to, number 1, hit the gym. Number 2, get to the field.
Oh, he sneaks just past it. Wow, he's just got so much pop on that forehand. I mean, he was sailing 80 long if that went clean.
Nikko's going aggressive flex sidearm again, it looks like. That is not a open gap.
That's a really small gap. Wow.
He is proving us wrong time and time again. It clearly a lot bigger of a gap than we think. Gavin is going down the gap, but a little bit closer to the opening.
Yeah, he's really been a pleasure to watch today.
Yeah, Gavin is a very strong player.
No.
Oh, no, and he wanted it. He knew he wanted it. I don't know if that did creep into the out of bounds or not.
Based off his reaction, it looked like it went a little long, and I know we had talked about it earlier, that with being such a fast spin putter, that's
what happens.
Does come into play, yep.
And Nikko, unfortunately, misses another one from the dreaded distance that he'd been struggling with this round. Alex snags a par.
It's a solid par. I mean, he was throwing great today, just had a little bit of trouble scoring, but finishes at a 3 under.
Very respectable round. And I'm not sure, he did snag a par, so that area where he did run his putt to was safe, it looked like.
So he's going to go back-to-back bogey-free rounds and finish at an 8 under, tying the course record.
That was an absolute putting clinic by Emerson.
Is that the first one we've really seen him miss? I mean, we saw him come up a little short on some Circle 2 putts, but that was
extremely impressive and
really impressive.
A really impressive round from Gavin as well. It was nice to watch him come out, and we don't get to see him too often, and it's always fun to see a new face on these types of cards. Again, such a pleasure to watch this course get played by all these great athletes.
Yeah, honestly, one of the most enjoyable videos that I've seen in recent memory.
And again, we have Zach Johnson and Joel Freeman jumping on to the lead card coming into round 3. Again, make sure to subscribe to GK Pro, and we will catch you for the round 3 coverage.
Thank you, guys.